What's up, guys? How's it going? Max here. I apologize for the initial pump fake on the live. It's I'm testing out a new software, so we're always looking for new live streaming software, for new tools to make our job better. Come on, Hookie. Come on. I'm gonna come down to you then. All right. So always looking for new software, new tools, new apps where we test a lot of things. And Austin Dixon, who's member of Unicorn Nation, a member of the community, and a friend, he had because we had some troubles with BeLive, we had troubles with Zoom, we've had troubles with everything we try. We have an issue with it at some point. So we said, hey, check out ECAM, and we've tried a lot of the other software out there. There's a live stream make software. There's stuff from Telestream. There's all kinds of stuff out there. I think it's Livecast or Telecast. I've heard the name of it, but super expensive. And so we checked out ECAM, and that's the name of this software. It's called ECAM, and we're also using it with a tool called Restream.io. So we're testing out two new apps at the same time, and obviously the first go around there's going to be trouble, there's going to be issues because we're learning the software. And so at the beginning we I played it, I didn't know how it would work, and obviously had some issues with it. So I tried to modify too. So it had Restream, again, like a little challenge. Restream had set up my stream for being just friends only. So I had to modify that to be public. But basically, so ECAM is what we're using right here. It's a Mac app, so it's not a web platform. It's a desktop app. Basically, it's at this really cool design studio, and so it's got like our sound levels. They got overlays. They got scenes. I can play an intro. I can play an outro. I can drop overlays on here like this right now, or I can drop this little overlay down here. If you're enjoying the live, hit that thumbs up button, which is pretty cool. I can also monitor all comments and reactions in a uniform place. Although now it's showing me that I can't do it. I'm using Restream, so that's a little bit of a pain. So I'll have to decide whether I want to, keep using Restream. The cool thing about Restream is that it takes my live and it puts it on a bunch of other places simultaneously. So basically, I can stream simultaneously to YouTube, to my personal profile, to public figure page, to basically everything at the same time, which is nice because usually I have to pick and choose where I want to stream. And so there'll obviously positives, there'll be pros, there'll be cons to it, and we're gonna roll with it and see how it goes. Timothy said didn't use BeLive. We did use BeLive. We still pay for BeLive. We still pay for Zoom. We use all of those tools and features. They all have their place. However, I'm honestly just have not been thrilled or super happy with any of them. Right? They all have problems. They all have issues. They all have bugs. They all crap out a lot of the time, and so I'm always looking for alternatives. We're always eager to try, something that might be better. And so that's what we're doing right here. We're testing out ECAM, testing out Restream, and all that good stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Right? This is a run through. I like it. I can control the output. We're streaming in 1080p, which is great. It's just super easy to use. And the problem too is so OBS, we've looked at that. We've looked at a lot of tools. The problem is that a lot of them are just super complicated, right? The interface is a pain in the ass. You need to be able to, create different stream feeds and keys and API, all this technical crap. And I'm just not a super technical person. So the cool thing about ECAM so far is that it is relatively user friendly. I was able to figure this out with only one mistake. So I got it right in the second time. It's drag and drop. It's easy to use, right? So again, we'll see how it goes. The combination with Restream is pretty awesome. However, it does have some complications in that I can't natively now see comments. I got to be on Restream to do that. So so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And Timothy said, how is it with bringing other people on, I wonder? So that's what's really cool is I can set up, it's super easy. There's a lot of big companies that are actually using ECAM. So I can toggle between camera, desktop, pre-recorded movies. I can bring guests in. I can have all my different overlays. I can have multiple different cameras, so I can add guests however I want. I can swap between cameras. So if I had a multi-camera shoot, so if I had a camera over here and I had a fixed cam over there, I could actually easily swap between those cameras right here if I wanted to, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's, again, I don't know if it's perfect. I don't know if there's going to be problems with it or issues or anything like that. What I do know is that so far it's working out pretty good. And there's a lot of fun things I'll be able to add. I just like the ability to be able to customize overlays and animations, and they have countdown timers and all kinds of stuff that I can add if I want it to get crazy, right? I can throw on this timer right here for no reason. Something happens in 9 minutes, you don't even know. But again, we're not going to go that route. But that wasn't even the purpose of me doing a live today. The purpose of me doing a live today was to talk about something that I think is something I never thought I would be really into or really big into. If you said 2 years ago, what do you think you're going to be doing in a few years? The kind of the last thing that I think I would have said is selling courses, doing masterminds, doing trainings. That's probably the last thing. So, and again, I'll answer questions. So ECAM, just to be clear, and then I'll get into actually the point of this video. I probably should have done a video just talking about this, and then a video talking about the point of me actually doing the video. But so ECAM is the software that it's got my camera, it's got the UI on this monitor over here, where I can see my overlays, my scenes, my mic levels, my camera, comment reactions. Restream is where I'm actually sending the feed to, and then Restream is broadcasting that out simultaneously to my personal profile, to multiple Facebook groups, and to YouTube. You can also do it to Twitch, all other platforms. So if you are on multiple platforms, it's pretty cool, because now I can just send it to all those places. Before, I used to have to I would have to manually go in, and every time I went live, I'd have to share it to my public figure page. I'd have to share it to my Facebook group. I'd have to share it to all these different places. So the cool thing here is that I can creates a unique stream in each one of those places. So instead of it just being a share, it's a unique stream. And the cool thing is it's showing compiled viewers. So right now, what's interesting, and I don't know actually if this hurts me or helps me. This could probably hurt me actually. On my personal profile, it's showing 9 live viewers, but I have multiple viewers in other places. So I have 15 concurrent viewers right now across those different places. There's analytics in Restream.io. So we'll see how it goes, right? I think at the end of the day, I may just stick with going ECAM and not using Restream, because it's kind of a pain in the ass. But I do like the fact that I don't have to go in and share it a bunch of times, a bunch of places. It saves a lot of time. Ironically, I'm wasting all that time because I'm explaining it right now. But hey, it's the first time you do something. And I totally forgot I had this little overlay up here, which is fun. I can keep playing with this. We actually have a really cool custom animation that we're creating for YouTube that I can use on Facebook now. Plus, I really like the video quality. So I think the video output quality right now is way better than the output quality on either BeLive or Zoom. And that's always bothered me, because I have a really expensive camera, we have really good internet, I have a really good mic, but when I see my live streams, it's just crap quality. And so it's nice to be able to use a tool that actually delivers high quality outputs to the different platforms. So this is for Facebook. It's on YouTube right now as well. I have no idea what it looks like on YouTube right now. I probably should pull that up and go look at it. So I'm going to pull that up right now and see what's going on YouTube. Let's see. I got one person watching on YouTube. Look at that. So that's amazing. The YouTube Live does not get nearly as much reach as Facebook Live. I think I have 1,300 subscribers on YouTube, and we got one person watching. But it is what it is, right? It's better than nothing. And I get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I get to create a video here and create a video on YouTube, and it's a win-win, right? I just need a place that I can put out content, and it just takes that content, packages it, and puts it on LinkedIn, puts it on Instagram, puts it on Facebook. So I don't have to do it, and our team doesn't have to do it, because it's a it's a pain in the ass to have to do that. It's hard enough to put out content on a regular basis, but then you got to put out content on all different platforms. You got to package it right and distribute it, and it's just it's a lot of work. It's exhausting. But firstly, this is an exciting day because tomorrow at 11 a.m., Larissa and I are going to see Endgame. So we're super excited about that. Kind of bummed that we don't get to see it. We didn't see it last night or today. But literally, I went on Fandango like 30 minutes after it went live, and it was already like sold out in all the IMAX theaters by us, which is pretty crazy. So I'm super excited about that. It's Endgame Eve for me. So I got my Avengers hat that Larissa got for me, which is pretty sweet. And Hokie approves of it, right? So that's awesome. But what I want to talk about today, the whole purpose of this live, right? It's like, what the hell's the point? Why are you still talking, right? Hokie's even telling me, Dad, just shut up and let's just go hang out and play video games. That's what Hokie's saying right now. But the point of it is like, so 2 years ago, I had never done a live. I had never done I never spoke on a stage before. I had never put out content. I never put together a course. I never really thought about doing anything public facing, right? I kind of just was happy and content building other people's brands, right? So working behind the scenes and working with great people like Kevin Harrington and Pat Flynn and people that they were the public figure, right? They were the ones that were taking their, years and years and years or decades of experience and knowledge, and they were monetizing it. And we were kind of just some of the fuel behind that. But 2 years ago, when I started dabbling in this space after kind of helping Pat with his first course launch, and then starting to dabble with my first Facebook course, and then seeing how successful that course was, and then seeing what happened by putting that course out, the ripple effect that had across everything we've done career-wise and unicorn-wise. And that's what's been really exciting for me, is seeing that putting out knowledge, taking our knowledge and our experience and packaging that and distributing that, whether it's through a course, whether it's through group training, whether it's through speaking on stages, whether it's through speaking at masterminds, it has exponentially propelled everything else we're doing. It has been like this magnetic force field, or actually force field is the wrong word because force field blocks, but there's this magnetic attraction that it's created that's pulled all kinds of heavy hitters to us. It's pulled all kinds of opportunities to us. And those opportunities wouldn't exist, or maybe they would have existed at some point, but not nearly in the short time frame they did, if we weren't putting our knowledge that we used to just keep to ourselves and weren't putting it out there. And that's what I think is super interesting about the idea of scarce versus abundance and short-sightedness versus long-term strategy. So there's a lot of people in the marketing world, and this goes much bigger than just marketing, the idea of packaging and selling knowledge. There's a lot of people in the marketing world that nobody knows about, that make a shit ton of money, that have kind of their secret sauce, their strategies, and they keep it to themselves. They don't want to share with others because they don't want others to have it. They want to use it to make as much money as possible. What's interesting about that is it caps out at some point. Like in our industry, in our world, the marketing world, the direct response world, the affiliate marketing world, it's a kind of hunt and kill world where you have to constantly be working to bring money in. And that gets exhausting at some point, whether it's a year in, 3 years in, 5 years in, 10 years in, whatever it is. At some point, it gets exhausting to like keep putting work in to get money out. And so what's interesting is if you remove that scarce mindset and you take away that, like, I don't want to give because I don't want other people to know what I know, and instead give it, whether it's through giving it away for free or whether it's through packaging and selling it or a combination of the two, it leads to much bigger opportunities. And not just bigger opportunities monetarily, but opportunities that allow you as the entrepreneur to work less in your business and work more on your business and take more time off. And that, for me, has been the single most important thing in the last year or so, specifically the last 6 months, is the focus on maybe taking less of the pie, but having more partners involved and surrounding yourself with more people, and giving to them and being abundant with them, whether it's your knowledge or skills, money, whatever it might be, and building something much bigger and having a machine that starts to move and roll on its own and grow on its own without you constantly needing to be the person pushing it uphill, right? And so obviously anybody who's watching this, part of this talk is challenging because I'm sure everybody that's in our industry has already heard of what's going on. But I still want to share it because I still believe in it. So I'm sure everyone here has, heard about what Tony and Dean and Russell are doing, right? So they're putting on a training. They have a new program coming out. They bought mastermind.com, which is pretty cool. So when we worked with Perry Belcher, we worked with Rival Media and we were buying all their media for a while. Perry was a really big domain buyer. So he would go out and just buy, he had a thrill out of hunting down big domains and making giant deals, buying domains people wanted $250,000 for and buying for $100,000 or $50,000, which is still crazy for a domain. But he loved the thrill of buying a high value domain, and he treated it like buying real estate. So when somebody comes out and buys a domain like mastermind.com, whatever it might be, that shows somebody's pretty serious on it, right? And I got an email probably 2 months ago about this launch that Tony, Dean, and Russell are doing, and basically they've put together a program that's going to help every entrepreneur out there, or somebody that has, if you have an expertise, if you have knowledge in something, you have a skill, there's so much opportunity to make exponentially more money than if you just did the skill, right? So there's this kind of singular path where I have a skill, a trade, an expertise, an X factor, something that I do better than most people. And I can do that thing and I can charge money for that thing. However, at some point, the only way I can really make more money at some point is not to work more because I cap myself out time-wise. It's to charge more money. And you can only do that for so long. I mean, at some point there's a cap and a ceiling and elasticity to the pricing, demand there, demand for your product and what pricing does to change that. So what do you do when you're capped out at that point? I'm trying to this is why I'm really bad at lives and why I would say really bad at lives. This is my weakness with lives and why I just need an assistant I need to have Larissa help me with this, somebody to type stuff while I'm speaking, because I'm terrible at typing out a message and also continue to speak about the message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this link in here because it's really cool. I'm going to explain it once I drop it. So we'll do that. So to turn your knowledge into money, Tony Dean during 3-hour Okay. So I just dropped that link. This will be interesting to see if this posts everywhere or just posts to YouTube. So it looks like it okay, so Facebook's read only. So that's useless. So we're learning as we go, right? So I'm going to drop this link here because Restream has this kind of uniform comment aggregator, but obviously it didn't work for everybody. It didn't work for Facebook because Facebook's read only, I guess, through the API access they have. So here's the thing. So at some point you get capped. It's inevitable. You're going to get capped out, and this happened to us. Probably when we kind of towards the beginning starting Unicorn, we realized we can only make so much money without expand. Like, we need to make decisions of how to expand capacity. And, frankly, like, building a giant agency was not something that we were really excited about and wanted to do. So the beauty of, like, info products, courses, masterminds, trainings, all that good stuff is that it allows you to exponentially amplify your productivity or the profit potential of your knowledge. And that's been really eye-opening for me, because I just never understood how people like Tony Robbins and there's obviously a lot of people out there who run masterminds and trainings and group coaching and have courses, and they've been doing it for a long time. But what's always fascinated me with somebody like Tony, getting to know, like, kind of seeing the inner workings of his program and getting to know a lot of his coaches, his Platinum Partners program, and seeing just how the program works. It's really fascinating how, like, this single guy who has this gift, this incredible gift to teach and inspire and motivate and help lift people up, was able to take what's in his head and monetize it across millions of people while working less. Like, that is so, and I don't know about you guys, like, for me, that's a dream. Like, what Tony Robbins has been able to do, and I'm not saying I want to be Tony Robbins or even exactly, like, do the thing he did or the program he did, but just the overall, like, process. The fact that he was able to turn his brand, to turn his knowledge, his expertise, his passion into a growing revenue stream that increased while his input decreased. Like, that's pretty crazy, right? How you're able to, like, he could work one-on-one with people and keep charging more money, right? So he could keep, he could have worked one-on-one, he could have done some maybe events here and there and capped himself out revenue-wise. And he would have to keep, no matter how much more he worked, it wouldn't increase revenue. But with their process of how they're able to package what's in their head, whether it's Russell or Dean or Tony and these just legendary marketers and entrepreneurs, they've been able to break that barrier. They've been able to overcome that huge obstacle that most entrepreneurs encounter, that most marketers encounter, that most people, frankly, in our industry encounter. And that's really, like, how do you get to a point where your business can continue to grow without being solely dependent on you? And I know, like, the info product world, the info product market, that whole industry has gotten a bad rap lately because of the gurus and that whole subset, I would say, of the industry, which is you're going to see in every industry. Right? You're going to see people that exploit a scenario, that they see a situation where there's vulnerable people, and that's people who are struggling financially, who are looking for that secret, they're looking for that handout, they're looking for that help, and they're in that desperate situation, and people prey on that. That being said, the concept of selling knowledge, the concept of education is not a new thing. The concept of trading money for education is not a new thing. It's not 10 years old, 20 years old. It's thousands of years old, right? But what I think's happening is there's this massive transformation across not just an industry or a country, but a globe, like just the entire planet, where technology, access to internet and smartphones and basically computing devices is becoming so ubiquitous that most people in the world, even people that missed an entire generation of like having access to computers, have kind of like leaped over that and gone right to phones because they're a lot cheaper, and companies like Amazon and Facebook and Google are putting they're putting blimps and satellites into space to bring free internet to third world countries. So you all of a sudden have billions of people getting access to information, right? So you have billions of people around the world all getting access to information in the palm of their hand. And, the reality is that for a very long time, information was an X factor. Education was an X factor for the wealthy, right? So if you were in the first world and you had money and you had the ability to go and study, you could learn and you could, build your knowledge and build your skills and your trades and all that. And that gives you a huge advantage over most people because you have such a vast understanding of so many complex topics. But that gap's been decreasing now because information is no longer kind of walled off where, hey, the only way to get access to education was to be able to go to a university or a college and, live in the States or live in a country that had a really good education system. Although, our public education system is a nightmare, and that's a whole nother story. What I think is now happening, though, is now you've seen like universities get super complacent with almost having a monopoly on education. So colleges and universities for just decades and even centuries, at Oxford and stuff like that, they haven't had a competition, right? If you wanted to become a lawyer, if you wanted to become a doctor, if you wanted to become an accountant, whatever you want to become, most of those higher paying jobs that had great career paths, you had to go to a college. You had to go to a university. You had to pay to learn. That's changing now. You can, go to high school and then you can start watching YouTube videos. You can start reading blog articles. You can start taking courses. You can join Facebook groups and you can learn how to start an e-commerce store and do drop shipping. You can learn how, to do just about anything. You can learn how to, become an expert at really just about anything. I'm trying to like list things that are just crazy, but like you can learn just about anything by watching YouTube videos. You can learn how to build stuff. You can learn how to play instruments. You can learn how to, basic chemistry. Like it's such an incredible thing that there is so much information out there, and everyone has access to it. And so I believe like there are still obviously certain paths and certain careers where getting a traditional degree makes sense and you have to go that route. But that being said, if it means you have to go into debt $100,000 or $250,000, is the ROI really there? And the truth is that it's really not. Like it's been proven statistically that it's when you factor in interest and just the burden it has on you, when you have that debt looming over your shoulder, people don't get into their genius when they feel burdened, right? And so that's what's interesting is like even when you get to a point financially where you no longer have to worry about the basics like paying rent, food, all the stuff, and you can just focus on living, all of a sudden your brain opens up. You become more creative. You can put yourself into your work more. You can put yourself into what you're passionate about more because you have the freedom to do that. You're not burdened anymore. And I think with student debt and student loans and those massive bills, like it just crushes people once they get out of school because they're so preoccupied with needing to pay that back. And that forces them to not be able to do certain things they want to do because of that burden. So I think we're starting to see this massive shift where even companies like Apple and Google and Netflix and stuff are like, we're less picky about needing a 4-year degree and a college degree. We're more focused on creativity and other attributes. So you're starting to see big companies that pay really well, put less emphasis on it. And you're starting to see more and more opportunities, structured opportunities being put online for education of certain trades, certain skills, certain career paths. Now, the real challenge is we've entered into the phase where there's just access to all this information. Now it's about, well, how does that information get accredited? And that's like the one advantage that colleges have right now and universities have right now is that I know if I go to Harvard University that the teachers have been vetted, that the degree is worth something when I leave Harvard. I don't know that about this person's YouTube channel. I don't know that about this person's course, right? There's less due diligence that's done. There's less regulation on internet content, right? Content's put out there for free, or even just courses. And so I think we're going to go through this next phase. We're going to start to see more emphasis on, accrediting courses, and, you're going to start to see the people that just really aren't providing great content, people that aren't providing valuable content will get weeded out. But the people that really know their stuff, the people that are super passionate about what they're doing, the people who can really teach and get results and put together these incredible programs are going to profit at a insane level in the coming years. And I think it's still there's this misunderstanding or misconception that because we see a lot of people doing courses, because we're marketers, entrepreneurs, we're always early adopters. So we always, when we see a lot of people doing something, we think it's saturated. The truth is that early adopters, it looks saturated because we're just in this bubble. But to the billions of people, we're still way ahead of the curve. So there's still so much opportunity and so much money to be made and impact to be had on the way up to mass adoption and then late adopters, right? And so I wanted to do a video because I, for one, I'm a huge believer in how transformational the access to education information is for our planet and for everybody. I'm a huge believer that if you're really, really good at something and you're in a service business, or you're basically working to make money, right? I have a skill, I have a trade, and I do that skill and trade and get paid money for that there's such opportunity to then turn that knowledge into informational products, digital products, group coaching, trainings, masterminds, to exponentially increase your income and work less. I've seen that happen for myself. I've seen that happen for so many people, where they've taken something they used to do, just like I had to grind it out every day to make a living, to then turning that into something that can be sold and generate passive income while they sleep. That is just so powerful and so transformational. And, obviously, when you're looking at who are some of the most successful people in the world that have done this, that you want to learn from, that I want to learn from, it's people like Russell Brunson and Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, guys that are legendary in this space, that have made an absurd amount of money selling information, selling events and training and coaching and structuring businesses around it. And so the link I shared, obviously most of you probably have heard they're doing a launch because all the big affiliates are pushing it, right? Billie Jean just started pushing it. Just everybody like that I know that has influence has gotten, the mastermind.com box to push their stuff. But that's not going to stop me from, promoting something just because, you might have seen it before. Even if you've already signed up for it, right? That's totally fine. I just want to remind you about it because I'm super excited about it because it's a free training. It's 3 hours. It's live. It's got 3 incredible people on it. They already have, I think 50,000 people opted in for that live cast. Like, think about that. 50,000 people have clicked that link. Well, not my link. I wish they clicked my link. But have clicked and went to that landing page and registered for that live cast. Like, that's insane. They're definitely going to set some big records. And, I'm excited to get to be a tiny, tiny, tiny part of it. But more importantly, I wanted to share it because, obviously I'm an affiliate for it, so I make money. But it's really like I'm super selective to promote. I don't promote a lot of things. I know there's a lot more marketers out there who they have a promotion calendar. They're promoting stuff every 2 weeks. We don't really promote stuff that often. But this is something that I genuinely believe in. Like, I'm excited about as both a consumer and believer in this, and obviously somebody that's promoting it. Like, I'm just super excited about it. To learn and to be part of it in some level. So that was what I wanted to share today. Just I'm excited about it. I think it's going to help a lot of people. You think about it. If you have 50,000 people already opted in, that number is definitely going to increase at a significant level as we get closer to the 30th. So I'd imagine they're probably going to break 100,000 people registered for that live cast. And I'd imagine they're going to get, tens of thousands of people that are going to invest in the program that they release. And, if you have even 10, 20% of those people that actually follow through with it and commit, that's going to have such massive impact on our planet, right? If you have another 10,000 people who have a genius in something that now are going to put the work in to turn their genius into an educational product, into a mastermind or a course, and then bring that to the masses, like the ripple effect there is so incredible. It's like unfathomable. And that's what's really exciting about it is, not the 10,000 people or the 20,000 people that are going to invest in the program, but it's the fact that each one of those people is going to be able to bring their knowledge to hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of other people. And that's how real change is made. And that's how, the world becomes a better place. I don't want to sound, all the world's going to be a better place and it's all butterflies and rainbows. But the truth is that the more knowledge more people have, the better off we're going to be, right? It's just a fact, because all it takes is, the right kid to get the right information at the right time to make some groundbreaking discovery, to invent some groundbreaking technology, to discover some groundbreaking cure for disease. You just need one person to do that. And we all have the opportunity to help in some way. Now, obviously, I'm not going to help them with Facebook ad training, but somebody out there might be an expert in something that's actually useful, whether it's engineering or medical research or chemistry or physics or whatever it might be. And so yeah, super excited about it. Make sure you hit that link below. I'll share it one more time, the link to sign up. Full disclosure, I'm an affiliate for it, right? So I always like to be super upfront about it. I am an affiliate for this program, which means that, hey, it doesn't cost anything to go to the training, right? The training's free, but if you do buy something from them, I make money. And, that's the way it goes. At the same time, there's easier ways to make money. It's not, for me, it's not about making money. Whether it's, we make a few $1,000s from this is not a big deal. It's more so the fact that this is something I think is really cool. I'm personally excited about, and when I'm personally excited about something and personally believe in something, and I've personally seen the results of what they're talking about, that's when I want to share stuff, right? And I'm a big believer in that. I think if you're going to promote something, you need to be not just a believer, but a practitioner of it. You need to be a user of it. You need to be a customer of it. So any tool we promote, like, we actually pay for it. We actually implement it. We use it. It's a big part of why we're successful. And if it's not, it doesn't make the cut, because it's so easy to see through people when they're just talking about something because they just want to make money, right? At the end of the day, that's not the type of person I want to follow. That's not the type of person that I want to learn from. So yeah, so this is it. It's just to recap. We're testing out a new tool. I spent most of the live talking about ECAM, which is a pretty cool tool. Not an affiliate for them. I'm not even recommending them yet. I'm just saying we tested it out for a live stream. It's gone pretty well so far. A few hiccups here and there. So the next live will be way better, I promise you. Super excited about Endgame. Got this this encyclopedia. Jeremy grabbed this for Christopher and I. He brought it back to the office yesterday, which is pretty cool. So it's a Marvel encyclopedia. We're talking about knowledge and information. This is all the knowledge that's important. So this is the only stuff that you need to know, right? It's the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, every character in the encyclopedia. So Larissa and I are going to see Endgame tomorrow at 11. If you spoil it for us or post something, I will permanently block you forever and never communicate with you again. You will be dead to me. So please do not do that. Do not ruin any spoilers. But yeah, I'm going to drop the link one more time down here. Make sure to register for a once in a lifetime powerhouse live training. I'm going to tag those guys in it, not that they care. Awesome. Well, again, I appreciate it. Actually, let me see. Jamie had a question. I'll answer some questions. We'll do that. We'll answer a question or two. Jamie said, I get wrapped up in how small and niche to do this course sort of thing because the Tony Russell thing is a big blue ocean sort of world. short of actually running a full-on MVP rollout? What are some ideas for minimum viable audience? Or what are some ideas to test for an open, interested audience and factor in that goal for me? It might be a $5K a month for a course. From this, saw some email right before I got on where some dude did $278,000 from a handstand course. No idea if it's a real thing, but sort of interesting considering this conversation. So it's a great question. I think if something's a niche and very small, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a market that's worth going after. It could just mean that everyone in that group is way more passionate than a large group where there's, loose affiliations, right? So like that, it's just a handstand course. Like that might be just a lot of people that are just, it's a joke course, something like that. I don't know if that's a real thing. But if it's a Cirque du Soleil, become a Cirque du Soleil gymnast course, like that's a very, very small potential audience, but it's a very, very valuable lesson. And the people that want to be Cirque du Soleil gymnasts are willing to do whatever it takes. They're willing to invest their time, their money, their resources to hit that goal. And so I think, again, the more specialized something is, the more niche something is, it also means that people may be willing to invest a lot more into it because the outcome's a lot more personalized and valuable to them. So in terms of like what would be a minimum viable audience or some ideas to start testing out there, I think the easiest thing to start doing is just start to put out content, right? Start putting out content about whatever your passion is, whatever your interest is, and begin to see if people are resonating with it. That's the only way that anybody can do anything or accomplish anything is to put themselves out there and to start putting in effort and trying. If you don't do that, you'll never know. So I would rather personally, I had no idea how my first Facebook course was going to do. I had no idea. For all I knew, it was way more likely to be a flop than do 7 figures. But the kind of the stars aligned and it worked out really well and it resonated with people and we did a lot of things right. And we got lucky in a lot of places too. But if I didn't start filming lives and putting myself out there and sharing Facebook tips and sharing marketing tips, I would have never knew, right? So I don't necessarily think you need to start investing money into it. I think simply just starting to put out content, create a website, right? Create a blog, start doing YouTube videos, start posting, blog content about it, start sharing on LinkedIn about a topic, and begin to see how many people are resonating with that topic. Start to build a community around it. I think a lot of the stuff, if it's passion, it should be fun as well. So there shouldn't be necessarily a rush to get into it. I think building a community that's organic, natural, that's done the right way is a way more valuable community than rushing into it and trying to just pump money into it and ad spend. But that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm more than happy to, if you want to shoot me a message and chat more about it, I'm more than happy to talk deeper about it. So yeah, that's all I got for today. I'm gonna disconnect for the rest of the day. And Steven said +1 for put out content that'll come close to. Max told me this in LA last year. It's been insane once I came out from behind the curtain. Yeah, I mean, Steven's crushing it. Your content's all over the place, and it's hard to do it because human beings, we innately have a fear of failure and rejection, right? We don't. It's the same reason why most of us get afraid to public speak or speak on stages. We're just terrified that somebody is not going to like us, that we're going to make a mistake, that we're going to fail. The truth is that we're all humans. We all have that same fear. We all have passions and interests and desires. And at the end of the day, the worst thing that happens is you get up on stage and you bomb, and then you walk off it. The worst thing that happens is you put out content and nobody engages with it. The worst thing that happens is you do a live stream and 2 people are watching it right now. Like it is what it is. You're going to put out content. There's going to be some times where, 8 people are watching it. There's some times where there's 50 people watching it. There's some times where you're going to put out a video and nobody's going to watch it. But it can't deter you if you're passionate about it. Like I love what I do. I literally have a dream job. I get to talk about cool marketing strategies. I get to work with really cool businesses, really cool influencers, and help them grow their business with Facebook ads, with interactive content, with YouTube, with all kinds of marketing strategies, messenger bots, everything. And it is the most rewarding and fun job in the world. And I wouldn't want to do anything else. And I wouldn't be in this position if I didn't take that risk 2 years ago and start putting myself out there. I would be just running people's ads. That's what I would be doing right now. I would be sitting at a computer, building somebody else's business, building ads. Instead, we're building unicornwealth.com. We're building our own massive wealth property. We're doing massive partnerships. We're putting out content. We're doing live trainings. I'm speaking at masterminds. I get to speak next month. Ezra Firestone invited me to speak at War Room, like in Austin at Digital Market HQ. Incredible, right? 3 years ago, I would have begged to just like be in the same room as Ezra, and now I get to call him a friend, and get to speak at the same events. Like it's none of that would happen. Even just, what Steven was referencing at LA, that was with Tim Bird. Tim invited me to do a mastermind with him. Like that stuff was unfathomable 3 years ago, even 2 years ago. And it all changes when you put yourself out there. At the end of the day, I don't care like how awkward you are. I don't care how unskilled you are in front of the camera. I don't care how nervous you are about speaking on stage. If you are passionate about what you do, if you genuinely love what you do and what you're talking about, you will be successful. I know that for a fact. Like it is just impossible not to achieve success if every day what you're doing is what you love and you're passionate about it. Because that is an X factor. Because most people, here's the reality, most people hate what they do. Think about that. Like most people get up every morning and they are dreading their day. They don't want to start their day. Most people wake up and they're like, I wish it was Friday, right? That's what I would say most Americans, most people in the world, that is, they work for the weekend, right? Because the weekend, they don't have to do work and they can do what they enjoy. But if what you're doing every day is what you enjoy, you have this massive competitive advantage because you're able to outwork them. You're able to, you're working 10 times harder. You're working 10 times more. You're putting in 10 times more energy, and people can resonate with that. Like, I might not be and anybody that knows me really well knows this. Like, most days at the office, I'm super quiet. Like, I'll sit, like, I probably say 10 words at the office every day. Most days. Most phone calls, I'll be the last person to speak. I'll speak the least. But when somebody sparks me, when it's an idea I'm excited about, when it's a live stream, when I'm speaking on a stage, when I'm doing an audit like I did yesterday, like I'll go for an hour. I'll talk for an hour. I'll talk for 2 hours. And you can tell, like, I'm not BSing right now. It's impossible to fake enthusiasm and energy for a consistent period of time. It's impossible. You can maybe fake it for a little bit, but you can't do it for an extended period of time. You can't do a 2-day mastermind and fake it. And so, like, that is just power to do what you love, right? And that's what I think is really cool. To circle back to, and then we'll call it a day. To circle back to this live training that Tony, Dean, and Russell are doing. Remember the links below. To circle back to that, like, there are a lot of people who are super gifted, who have a real talent, but they can't make money from it, and so they don't do what they love because they can't make a living from it. So they do a job from 9 to 5 every day, or 9 to 6, or 8 to 5, whatever the hours are. I don't know. I don't work 9 to 5. We work, I work 24/7 because I love what I do, and so, like, they just go about their day, and then on the weekends they do what they're passionate about. They do their hobby. But, like, imagine how cool that would be if you could like take that knowledge, if you could take that passion and make money out of it, like make money from it. For most people, that would be incredible. If they had the opportunity to, like, holy crap, I can actually, make money doing what I love. Are you kidding me? that would be, incredible for a lot of people. But unfortunately, most people don't know, they don't know how to do that. Unfortunately, they don't have the skills or the knowledge to take their passions and their geniuses and package it in a way that they can actually make a living off of it. But it would be great if you could do that, right? And so I'm not, promising or guaranteeing that you're going to watch this webinar and you're going to come out of it and be like, hey, I got the secret sauce now and I'm going to be able to quit my job and start my, building mini homes. I'm a passionate about building tiny homes and I know how to build and I want to do a course on it. Like, I'm not guaranteeing you can do that, but I'm saying that if you don't like what you're doing, if you're unhappy at the job you're doing right now, if you don't wake up every morning excited to work, if you don't love what you do, like, what's the harm in showing up to a training to learn and potentially, learn a few tips, to learn a few skills, to get your questions answered about how you could do that, how I could take this passion and turn it into an actual business, an actual product that can make money. Maybe it's not something that you quit your job at first, but it's something that can bring in some passive income and you can start to build it and build it and build it while you have your 9 to 5. And then eventually you can quit your 9 to 5 because of it. And that's worth the risk, in my opinion. Like, that's priceless, in my opinion, to be able to leave a job you hate and do something that you love. So that's all I got for you today. You're probably tired of me. It's exhausting. We're 50 minutes in, 51 minutes, 52 seconds in. So we'll call it a day right now. Hope everybody has an incredible week. Remember, if you want to show up to you want to learn something about how to turn your ideas and passions into a business, how to create a mastermind, how to create products and courses and all that stuff, just click this link right below me, or in the comments, click the link. It's a free 3-hour training with Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Russell Brunson. You're going to learn an absolute ton. It's free. There's no commitment. Show up. They're obviously going to make you an offer. You don't have to buy it, right? Show up, learn some stuff, and bounce if you want to, or make the investment and take action. That's really what the most successful people do. They take action. They make investments. So that's all I got for you today. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Hope you enjoy Avengers Endgame. If you see it, remember, don't ruin it for the people. Don't spoil it. And I will see you all probably next week on an upcoming live. Thanks, guys.